So the next stage is show jumping. My worst phase by far. But how do I train at home with the boys? I'm gonna show you.
What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life. Deep connection lights a spark. It's like you know me in the depths of my heart. We're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We live it like this could be our final day.
Welcome back. Here we are. It's Wednesday. Welcome back. So today I think I'm going to talk about show jumping. So last week's vlog we talked about dressage and what things you can do on a limited budget and with limited facilities, and as we mentioned, eventing is 3 phases. So next phase that you move on to, 1-day event, short format, is show jumping. So how do I at home enable me to train for show jumping? And what other things do I do? Now, I'm not going to sit here and say all my training is done at home on my grass paddock, because it's not. There is elements where I need to go out and do arena hire. The boys need to see a course. And so there's a local venue to us called Speedley. I talk about it a lot, but I either go up there and rent for an hour. So I think it's about £35 an hour for one horse. It's only a £5 extra for another horse. So it is fantastic. It's about £35 and you get a full size course. It's a huge arena of show jumps to play with, and so we do that. Now for funds, obviously I can't do that on a very regular basis, but prior to competitions and probably a couple of weeks before, I will do that just so that the boys kind of get into the mood swing of show jumping a course, because I only have a marked out 20 by 40. So to put a course up there, you can, but it's tight, and then you go to a big an event and it's a lot bigger. So I do that. They do a lot of unaffiliated little show jumping competitions, so novice and novice, and they go up to 1m10, I believe. They do BS up there, but we're not at the stage of BS. So they go up to about 1m10, and I think it's about £18 to £20 for a round. So sometimes I'll do that, and it'll get them used to having horses in a warm-up and all that shizzle. However, that is on the minority. So the majority of the time I'm at home working in this little paddock with the facilities that I've got. So I thought I would show you the facilities, what I've done to kind of assist and help along the way, and also a little bit of background into show jumping. Let's go. So show jumping and me have a long history. We don't get on well. I think when I first started the eventing journey that show jumping would be the easiest section to do. I find it the hardest. I find it really stressful. The show jumping warm-up is like something out of Gladiator. There's horses coming at you every which way. It's just mental, and it's never been my jam. I have been eliminated many times on show jumping. I never got to the cross country. So let's have a look back let's pick Reginald, because he's done more work than Mo, and let's have a look back of where we've been for show jumping when I finally got a clear round show jumping, which was a year in the making, and currently what his show jumping training is like now, because I think it's really good. It's good for me as well to look back and think, I still dislike this phase, but we're getting better, and we are getting more productive. Reg, I always kind of think like a lot of things that go against Reg. Show jumping, he needs to get more spring in his butt, and so he needs to get more muscle in his backside to lift. He can jump, he's very capable, he's quite scopy, but we just need to make sure that he's building up that right muscle. So here you go, here's a flashback.
You didn't get that job, even though you really gave it your best. And now you're wondering what's the point of anything at all. But let me tell you what, that's just life putting you through the test. Before the dawn, it's always dark. Before the light, there is a tunnel. Before you run, you gotta stumble. When you fall in love, but it don't work out. When you've cried at least 100 times. When you feel so stuck, but you can't get out.
our best phase, but we're getting there, we're getting better. Would I ever choose to be a show jumper? No. It terrifies me, and I don't think show jumpers out there can really understand. I would rather see a solid fence any day of the week to gallop at than coloured poles that fall. I don't know, I just don't. It's not my jam. So there you go. And Mo's done a little bit too. So do you want a little bit of a recap of Mo and his show jumping? He did his very first Nervous and Novice, which is on the story of Mo, if you want to go and check the full thing out there. Because I'm going to do a little flashback of Mo. He came third. He did really well, and he gained confidence as he went round. So there you go. Here, I'll click. Should we try and do transitions? I'll click.
And you didn't even have to try. You will find a way if you hold on now and remember that the only way is up from here.
That's the boys. That's the boys in show jumping. Getting there. Right. You also might ask, Shell, on these vlogs, why is it a lot of the time it's dark? That's because I work full time. And I have to try and do these vlogs in between working, exercising ponies, and when the weather is right. So one of the things of working on a grass arena or with limited facilities, I'm very bound by the weather. So if the ground isn't right, if it's raining, now I'll caveat that because I'm not a fair weather rider. I ride in all weathers. However, particularly for jumping, I wouldn't jump on a surface, on the grass surface, if it's wet through. It's not safe. Just as you wouldn't go out on a one-day event. So let's have a look at the facilities that I'm working with at home and what we've created, our little piece of heaven, as we call it. Come along. The sun is coming up. Apologies for the lighting as always, but we are where we are. Welcome to the grass arena again, my little arena. So let's talk about jump wings. We have got some poly jumps, which are not mine, they belong to Tan. And one of the things that we do try and do as well is scour Facebook so Facebook Marketplace, eBay, for people that are selling jump wings that are a bargain price or something that we might, feel like we can use. And yeah, so we pick them up that way. So we have got a couple of poly jumps. They're the hedgehoggy type one, not the hedgehog ones, I don't know what they're called, to be honest, the slopey ones. I'll show you what they are in a minute. And then what else we do, or what else we've done, is created our own jump wings. Okay, so let's talk about the jump wings that we've managed to create. So as you can see, in front of me is a blue barrel. These, we got in touch with our local waste, me and Ted got in touch, our local waste recycling place, and they offered us to come and have a look round, and anything that we wanted to use we could take free gratis. So there was a load of these, and what we thought we'd do with these, Tan is very creative, more creative than me, is that we create a set of jumping wings, and hopefully they'll be at a reasonable height that we can work with them and use them and train the horses. So here they are. Now how do we change these into jump wings? Well, I'm going to show you. So here you have it. So what we did is purchased some of these tracks. So these came from, I'll link it in the description if I can find out where they were. I think it was a JS Equestrian. Anywho's, they were £5 for the whole of this track, and they are the tracks that can be used with the FEI jump cups, which we purchased at the same time. So that was a £5. The barrel was free, and I think these were £7.50 for two. So all in all, that's pretty cheap for a set of jump wings. We screwed them to the barrels, and then the cups hook on like that. And literally the best things ever. We measured the heights on here as well, and so the maximum without pole is 85 centimetres. So you might get like a 90 centimetre fence, which for us, for the level that we're doing at the moment, is amazing. However, we might want to jump higher at some point. I like magic. When we want to jump higher, We have got same barrels, same tracks from the company. Tan came up with an idea for an extension onto there, so this is really solid. It doesn't come off, and the height on that is, I think it's 120 that goes up to, so perfect. When I think that's probably the goal, like we'll never get any higher than that. Will we ever want to get any higher than that? If we do, we've probably made it in life and can afford some poly jumps or some jump for joy, because at the moment these are going to have to do. So there you go, we've got a set of those. We've only got one pair of those because the majority of the time we're jumping 90 to compete at 80, or sometimes either go up to put these on to 100 if we're going out at 90. Yeah, super useful. Right, we've got the jump wings, but what do we need next? We need poles. So we have been really blessed in that Tan picked these poles up. They're so bright, from Facebook Marketplace, and they must be, I think they're basically like a cheap version of poly jumps. They're light, so a bit lighter than the normal poles, so they do tend to knock more than what your other ones will, but you know what, teaches them to be careful because you've got to pick the feet up. So we have those. What we also have is these, and these are drain pipes. So these are drain pipes that have been painted beautifully. These are a bit older, these now, because I think Chan's had these quite a while, but they are really cheap to procure. Paint them up, they look like poles. Now there is one downside to this, in that when the drain pipes, they're incredibly light. So what Tan did is pop, I don't know if you can see, some bamboo in there, so like bamboo strands, bamboo sticks, and it makes them heavier. They do, downside, if they tap them, they do crack, so they don't last as long as the others, but we're working with what we got. So that's the poles, that's the jump wings. What other jump wings have we got? We've got a lot of handmade, like these ones. Well, this came from the hole at the waste recycling place too, and I think it's like what you put fruit in. But what we did was just tap that out so we can put a pole on there, and the pole runs off. So it's always, shall we put it out now? It's always important to be safe. So we want the poles to fall. We don't want any injuries to our horses or everything like that. So these roll off if they are hit. Very important. Like, gone are the days in the 80s where you used to literally jump over your mum's dining room chairs. Yeah, we survived, but it would be frowned upon on the YouTube. That's our setup. We have a selection of them. I'm really proud of what we've achieved with them this year. They have been super useful. They are brilliant for the boys, and they're easy to set up, easy to maintain, easy to clean. Plastic is better, not for the turtles, I do agree, but for being stored outside, so it rots less than wood. Although with the wood, if you pick it up off the floor, hence why we store ours like that, then obviously it lasts longer. Right, it's a jumping day for the boys today. The ground is okay. It's not, I wouldn't do mega fast work on it, but it's all right to do a little grid. So I love doing grids with the boys. It's great for Mo because it teaches him to think about things and slow down, and it's brilliant for Reginald to get his legs picking up and working over the fences. So I'm going to pop one up, which is a grid that I got. I think it's very popular on the thing. I'll pop a little. It's a bounce to a 2-stride oxer, and it's great, and I love it. So let's set that up now in my super arena so you can see how the boys work. So there we have it. That's the little exercise setup, which is there. It's not necessarily about the height with the boys, and to be fair, I think I'll pop that down for Moses. It's about getting them to think about things and yeah, like lift up more and get them working, and a bit of training over the winter while we can. So let's grab a pony. First one in the bag. As you can see, that was Mo's first jump back since a fair few months. So apart from the fact that he channels an inner London 52, and if you don't know about that, go check out Laura Collett's posts. Mo just loves jumping, and he gets very excited, which is why I have to take him slow into them and let him see them, take his time, and he just gets a bit exuberant. As you see from the end of it, he settles down, he's fine. So next one, also body protector on. I'm out there to promote, if you feel safe wearing a body protector, you do it. If you feel safe wearing a body protector, you do it. Had I been wearing one of these when I had my accident, I wouldn't have broke my ribs and punctured my lung. Food for thought. I don't wear them hacking, I'm bad, but for jumping and stuff, I've started to wear them, particularly when you see the antics Mo pulls. Right, next one. Different my horses are, so Reginald's really struggled with that, and the problem with Reginald is the ground, so I've cut that short because he's not happy. He hasn't got any studs in. I think it's something that when we're working in here, when it's slightly on the tacky side like this, I need to put studs in him. He's very health and safety conscious. He doesn't like coming into things where he doesn't feel necessarily safe, which makes him tricky to event. Mo, as you can see, is more bold, which, like, he excites me. There's something about Mo that just makes me very excited. So I changed that exercise for Reginald. So he was struggling with the bounce element of it. There's not enough around the corner for him to get impulsion, and he's not got the muscle behind him yet to power off from a trot. So, which ideally I'd want him to at some point. So I changed it so we had the bounce first part of the bounce, the second one was a pole, and then push to the 2 strides for the little oxer. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy. One thing I never want to do is cause my horses to lose confidence, because it takes so much to bring it back up again. So I'm happy with that. So yeah, let's take him back. So that is how I am able to work the boys at home, doing some simple jumping exercises to be able to flex, depending on, because they're very different boys. I've been able to change my plans if I set up to do something and then all of a sudden it changes. So yeah, I hope that's kind of given you a little bit of an insight into how we show jump. And like I say, we do have arena hire as well. But the ability that I have there, the ability that I have here with the jumps that we've created, etc., has been phenomenal for me, and just getting my eye in as well, because I think we forget that when we don't jump, we sometimes lose a bit of confidence, and that's, to be fair to me, like, I'm going to pat myself on the back right now, because that's the first decent grid I believe I've done since my accident with Mo, which was nothing to do with jumping. I'm so very happy with him. He's amazing. They both are. Reginald didn't like the ground today, so I'm happy to say, okay mate, we're not going to jump anymore. You've done what I asked you to do. and we need to move on. I have my whiteboard there, which at some point I'll go through training schedules and fitness, because it's me. Fitness is, it's the main thing for me to keep the horses fit, because you see so many out there, horses that get left in a field all year, dragged out for a one-day event, and just, it's not nice to see a horse flagged around a one-day event that's not fit. So I'm very keen on fitness, so we'll do that. But thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this little vlog. If you want to see more, like, comment and subscribe. It helps me out massively. And next week, we're going to be talking all about cross-country. So when the fields are wet and I can't do any jumping on there, where can I go to give the boys an experience of what it's like to run cross-country? Tune in next Wednesday to see. Thanks, guys. Open. Wow. I think it's one kick.
We